All right, hey South Texas, I hope your day is going well. It was a very warm day all across the region as we had temperatures rise all the way up to the 90s across much of the area. Temperatures were way up there. Now I'm bringing up Facebook now. I want to be able to answer some of y'all's questions that you may have about the weather today. I know a lot of people had some questions regarding the haze that was in the air. It was a little bit hazy outside. A lot of people wondering, hey, what was the deal with that? It was a lot of dust, actually, that was kind of kicked up from areas not too far away from us, up towards North Texas and into the Panhandle, really Panhandle more, and then up towards Kansas and Colorado, all kind of some dust that was kicked up by the cold front and brought down in our direction. We're going to talk more about that here in just a second. Again, I'm trying to get Facebook up here. That way I can answer some of y'all's questions. The service is kind of iffy right now in some of these parts of the building. Let's take a look outside Northwest San Antonio. Looking towards downtown, you can still see that haze being a little bit of an issue there. You can't really see downtown by any means. Going to continue to deal with this dust as we head throughout tonight. May even still be lingering around tomorrow morning, but should really start to fade out as we head throughout tomorrow and into tomorrow afternoon. Oh, got Facebook up here. I see a lot of people saying any rain, saying hello to all of y'all. Hello, finally a cold front. Yes, Sandra, we did have a cold front today. Unfortunately, that cold front didn't bring really any cooler air or drier air either, but it did bring that dust along with it. So let's bring that up full. There you see it. There's all that dust I was talking about. Downtown, hard to see. I got Facebook up now, so please send me your questions if you may have any. Again, this is what that cold front did. It came through and it kicked up a bunch of dust and it made for a little bit of allergy concerns. That allergy report only shows mold, ragweed, pigweed for today, all in light. Of course, we know that dust showed up too. We may have dry conditions here in South Texas, but notice up towards the Panhandle, they have very dry conditions. Now, here's the deal about this time of year. We have a lot of farmers in the Panhandle and stretching up towards Kansas and Colorado. They just cleared off their crops. They just went and did their harvest, and with that, the fields are now just all dirt. Well, the problem is it hasn't been raining a lot. There's been a lot of dry conditions. So when those winds came through, it kind of kicked up a bunch of dirt, tossed it high up into the atmosphere, and that cold front, it pushed all that dust all the way down towards our neck of the woods, and that's why we had so much dust in the air today. That cold front that passed through, it kind of tossed it up into the air, that wind behind it, and pushed it down into our area. So I hope that answers some of your questions. That dust was really thick, especially up towards Colorado, there east of Denver, stretching into Kansas. That's where they saw a lot of the dust a couple days ago, actually just yesterday. And then they also saw it up towards Amarillo, Lubbock, where the cold front moved through and then kicked up even more of that dirt into the atmosphere. So I hope that answers some of your questions. I know a lot of people were asking about it. My allergies were bothered by it. Ragweed gets to me on the regular, but that dust just added to it. I mean, if you were sneezing today, that was likely the reason why. My dog Oliver, he was struggling too. He's an Australian Shepherd, so he rubs his ears a lot, scratches his ears, and he was struggling with it himself. So you were probably having a struggle with it as well. Dave says, is the dust still coming in? So the dust is coming from the north? And yes, it is. It's coming from the north. They've had dry conditions too, and because it's been so dry, the dust just gets kicked up. Just like if you were to go into your backyard right now, it's been so dry around here, if you kick up a little bit of dirt, you'll see a little poof into the air, and that dust will kind of get kicked up itself. Just think of it as an even larger scale whenever you have a giant farm field or a giant area of farm fields like they do up towards the Panhandle when you get closer towards Amarillo. Samantha says, giving me a headache. Samantha, I woke up with a headache myself. I understand what you're talking about. Frank wants to know how cold it will get. We're going to talk about that in just a second. First of all, there's a quick look at the radar. No rain out there. Everything you're seeing on the radar is false returns. Sometimes the radar gets confused, thinks it's seeing rain in the atmosphere when it's actually seeing other things, which is not rainfall. So here's a look at the satellite radar. It's seeing a little bit of cloud cover over towards Big Bend National Park and stretching closer towards Marfa, Texas. Not seeing anything in the way of rain anywhere in the state. It's dry everywhere. Here's what we have as far as we head throughout the next 48 hours. For tonight, temperatures are going to be dropping down towards the 50s and 60s. Really going to be just that drier air. That's going to be why we're cooling off so much. We didn't really get much of a surge of cool air from the cold front. We did get a little bit drier air. With that, the dew points are lower. It's a little bit more comfortable outside. You'll notice that this evening, 50s and 60s when you wake up tomorrow. We move into tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures are going to still rise into the upper 80s, lower 90s. The catch is it's going to be a more comfortable upper 80s, lower 90s. Not going to be as humid. Still no rain into Wednesday, starting off the day with a bit of fog possibly for the coastal plains, and then we see temperatures rise into the 80s and 90s for the afternoon. So, yeah, it looks like we're staying dry there as we head throughout the next 48 hours. Your rainfall forecast over the next 7 days, not looking good. It's looking like we're going to see less than 1/4 of an inch for nearly everybody. Much of us who do see rain will see 1/10 of an inch or less, and a majority of us are not even going to see a drop of rain. One of the biggest concerns here is a lot of that rain is going to miss the hill country altogether, and the hill country is an important spot. The hill country needs to see that rain so we can get a little bit of help for the aquifer, but it just doesn't look like we're going to see that. So I see a few questions. Where's the dust coming from? So where does it come from? Well, think about farm fields. If you ever are passing a bunch of farm fields and the tractors are out there going through, sometimes you'll see a little bit of dirt kicked up from behind the tractors. So this is that time of year. Now, it's coming from not just farm fields. I want to make sure that's known. But farm fields are likely adding to the dirt in the air. When you think about it, the tractors are out there, they're plowing up, they're digging up all of the dirt and getting up all of the harvest for the year. And what's left behind after the tractors go through is just plain old dirt. And the problem is no rain has fallen up there in order to kind of mat down the dirt and keep the soil moist so that we don't have all the dirt kicked up into the air. So with that, we get a cold front come through, the wind pushes up the dirt, kicks it up way high in the atmosphere, and then it causes a little bit more of an issue for us as far as allergens are concerned. So I hope that answers your question, Lainey. Brian wants to know, hello Andrew, hope all is well with you. It's going great, I hope it's going good for you, Brian. What happens if we finish the Greek alphabet? Brian, we have never done that, and if we did finish the Greek alphabet, I'm not sure what will happen. And then I don't know if the National Hurricane Center has a plan in place for that. I'm sure it's something that Ken Graham, he's the director of the National Hurricane Center, I'm sure it's something he's thought of, but it's very unlikely. There's so many letters within the Greek alphabet. Here we are, we just did delta, so it goes alpha, beta, gamma, delta, so we're at 4 there. Delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, xi, omicron, pi, rho, sigma. Towards the end, I always mess it up. We've got like 5 more after that, though. So there's so many letters within the Greek alphabet, it's very unlikely we finish it. That's one of the reasons why they choose to go to the Greek alphabet after we finish up the regular name storms. Very unlikely we finish it. But that's a great question, and I'm sure it's something that they think about a lot at the National Hurricane Center. Ken Graham probably has it on his mind too, but it's very unlikely we do finish it. Great question, though, Brian. Ann says she's ready for fall. We've got fall weather on the way. How cold will it get Friday morning? Frank, we're just about to jump into that. I know that you asked that earlier. I don't want to keep you waiting too much longer, so we'll go ahead and head right to that. So again, not much rain this next week. Here's a look at the Edwards Aquifer at 660.3. It's fallen 1/2 foot the last 24 hours. 10-day average above 660 at 660.9. But if that continues to fall below 660, then we end up seeing those stage 1 water restrictions go into place. It's been a very dry year. We've only had 4 months that either got to or above average rainfall. That was January, April, May, and September. October, typically our second wettest month out of the year, we have had nothing but 0 as far as the rainfall is concerned in San Antonio. We need the rain. So Frank, here's the answer to that question for you. I know you've asked it. I want to make sure we get to it first. Friday, expected to be temperatures 50s for lows, 70s for highs, 50s for lows on Saturday, 80s for highs. Thursday afternoon is still going to be warm. We're still expecting temperatures in the upper 80s, but those temperatures are going to cool off quickly as we head through the evening. The wind is going to pick up a lot because that cold front is going to pass through, and it's going to cool us down a good bit. Here's a look at what we're expecting as far as rainfall is concerned. I wish we could get some more. We got 10% chances for rain on Sunday and Monday. Remember that 7-day rainfall map showing us how much rain we could see over the next 7 days. Much of this rain will be south of San Antonio and east of San Antonio. And I say much of it, but it's really not going to be that much for those who even see it. So fairly dry conditions, guys. I wish we could get more rain in here, but right now we're just locked in this dry period. The next 3 days, still going to be pretty warm. 60s for lows, 80s for highs. And then you see Friday, Saturday, beautiful fall-like weather for this weekend. If you're looking for some pumpkin patch weather, great weather this weekend. On Fridays, at the Oxford United Methodist Church, I believe it's referred to as, there's a pumpkin patch. That's on Huebner Road between Babcock and I-10. Great pumpkin patch there. They do movies at 7:30 p.m. on Fridays. Now, it's going to be a little windy. I think the wind will calm down by 7:30. But if you're looking for a good family activity, that's just one spot. Guys, there's a lot of great pumpkin patches out there to go check out. Friday night is going to be a very cool, crisp night, very fall-like. If you're looking for some fall-like activities, remember to continue to social distance, wear that mask, but also, you know, going to be great weather to head outside and enjoy the great outdoors. So let's look past the 7-day forecast. I always like to show this, day 8 through day 14. It looks like below average rainfall is still going to be possible for our area, either around average or just below average. Not good news. It looks like we're going to go through the entire month of October with dry conditions. So I believe we're going to finish up October with below average rainfall unless we get a ton of rainfall in on the last few days of the month. It just doesn't look good. So I wish we could get some more rainfall in. It just does not look very promising. The next 8 to 14 days, as far as temperature outlook is concerned, remember, this is not from day 1 through 7. This is looking beyond the 7-day forecast. This is taking into account day 8 through day 14. Looking like we're going to have slightly below average temperatures, which would be around the lower 80s for highs. So lower 80s for highs, maybe upper 70s, and then 50s for lows. That would be below average for this time of year. Not too bad there. Jumping into things for the Lone Star 3-day forecast. We're going to look at the tropics here in a second too, guys. Just hold on real quick. Your Lone Star 3-day forecast showing 70s and 80s for highs throughout the next week. Some few 90s there, depending on where you are in the state. Lots of sunshine, lots of drier conditions the next 3 days. And then the Texas State Park forecast for Tuesday. If you do happen to have Tuesday off, it's going to be great weather to go out and do some hiking, especially in the morning. If you're in the hill country tomorrow morning, especially places like Enchanted Rock, beautiful weather to take a hike. Climb up to the top of Enchanted Rock there in just north of Fredericksburg in Gillespie County. Tomorrow morning, temperature's going to be in the 50s to 60s. You're going to have a lot of sunshine, a beautiful sunrise. I have watched the sunrise from the top of Enchanted Rock myself. I can tell you it's totally worth the drive, and it is worth the hike up to the top if you can manage it. So a lot of great places to go check out. And make sure you go check them out. I'm a big supporter of state parks myself. So here's a look at the tropics outlook. Good news is that we have not a lot of activity out there. We have a low chance for tropical development east of the Lesser Antilles. Now, here's the thing about this area of low pressure, this little tropical wave. It's going to move into the Caribbean over the next about 8 to 10 days. It's going to move deeper into the Caribbean. And there's some models that are picking up on this forming into another hurricane. It's still too early to know what it's going to do for sure. But this tropical system, I don't think it's going to be an issue for us. But it's something that we're going to want to watch closer to the eastern Gulf of Mexico as we head into the end of October. Something this system's going to do is going to help moisten up the Caribbean. Right now, the Caribbean is pretty quiet, pretty dry. And this is going to add moisture to the Caribbean. And there's going to be a better chance for tropical development as we move into the end of October, I'm thinking. Something we're going to have to watch closely for, but still too early to consider it a threat, to worry about anything, just something to keep an eye on. So just a quick update there for the tropics, but again, not a lot of activity, pretty quiet conditions. So guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. You know, it's going to be fairly cool tomorrow morning. Great weather to take a walk if you're headed out early, that is, with temperatures again in the 60s to 50s across the region. Mostly sunny day, maybe a little bit of dust still tomorrow morning, but it really should settle as we head throughout the day. Don't be surprised if you have a little bit of allergies. This would be one of those nights where you want to take the allergy medicine before you go to bed. Some of that more powerful stuff that you may have, the better allergy medicine, just because the dust, as it settles to the surface, as we head throughout tonight, it'll kind of settle to the surface, may impact you. I'm going to take my allergy medicine before I go to bed myself, just so I'm not fighting it tomorrow morning. Y'all have a wonderful night. Hope we could get more rain in here. Michelle's saying, rain, exclamation point. She wants it. I wish we could bring some. You know, we're going to hopefully get some here as we head closer to the end of the year. But on average, I'm going to show this again. On average, November and December are drier months. This is our second wettest month of the year on average. Typically, June is our wettest month. This would be our second wettest month, and it just has not come into play. We just haven't seen much luck here. Sorry, guys. You know, we need the rain. We finished up. I forget how dry we were at the end of 2019. I want to say we were something like 19 inches behind average. It was some sort of crazy number. We were way behind average for 2019. May not have been that much. I'm going to have to look up that number. I'll have it for you all tomorrow. But yeah, we are way behind on our average, not just for 2020, but since last year too, we were behind average too. We are well behind average. We need some rainfall. We just don't want it all at once. Just remember that. You know, the wettest day we ever had in San Antonio, I believe, was October 17th, I want to say, of 98. It was 11.48 inches. I want to say I got all my numbers correct. There's a lot of numbers within that. But I know it was more than 11 inches in 24 hours. That's a lot of rainfall. That ended up being our wettest month ever on record, was that October in 1998. And it was a 100-year flood. I talked to Bill about it too, and he was telling me, yeah, I remembered that. He remembered covering it. He said it was a Saturday, and it was just a crazy amount of rainfall. We don't want that, but we do want some rainfall here and there. So I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm going to bring up the 7-day forecast here so everyone can get another look at it. We're going to have another update to the forecast coming up on Ken's 5 at 10 p.m. I hope you'll join in. We got the latest update to news and weather all across the region. A lot to talk about tonight, a lot going on in news, and of course a lot going on in the weather world. We'll have the latest update with some of the new weather models. We have these weather models that update throughout the day, and sometimes we got to add little tweaks to the forecast here and there. I'm going to check the latest tonight, see if we need to bump up those rain chances for Sunday and Monday. I would love to have to do that. So I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening. We'll keep you updated on everything right here at Ken's 5.